Hello everyone, this is the first in hopefully a series of videos on Asperger syndrome, which I was diagnosed with yesterday. This is not only the first video on that topic, but also my very first YouTube video, period. So if there are any mishaps or stutters or any kind of technical difficulties along the way, cut me some slack because I'm very new to this, and I was having some audio problems earlier, so hopefully that'll be remedied uh, soon, if not in this video. But anyway, as I said, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome yesterday, and first off, the name is kind of silly. I don't really, I mean, I know it was a guy's name, but I think I tend to call it Asperger's, because I really don't like the name Asperger. If you're gonna give me a disease, like, give me something with a more technical sounding name. But that's just me. I digress. Anyway, as I said, I was diagnosed yesterday, and I have mixed reactions about it. On the one hand, it is kind of insightful knowing that there was a name for something that was plainly different about me, which was evident all throughout my childhood and my teenage years. I'm 26 now. Um, so it does help in that sense, that I'm not just losing my mind or just crazy depressed or, you know, insane, which is what I thought I was uh, just throughout the years, because I've never understood just why I can't get along with people and why I can't uh, hold or maintain any kind of long-term relationship with anyone. But it has been kind of insightful researching Asperger's and learning about it. And when I first started researching it, I was floored. It was almost cryptic in the way that it seemed to just describe like a laundry list of just every attribute that I possess. So it was kind of strange. It was almost as if someone was sitting on the opposite side of the computer screen, just making a list, just describing all my traits. So it was shocking, but it was enlightening at the same time. Um, my psychologist said that I definitely have Asperger's. She seemed to be quite emphatic when she said that, although I have to question the uh, means of her diagnosis, because pretty much me and my mom were just given a questionnaire, and we were supposed to fill that out, and that would, I suppose, let us know if I had Asperger's or not. But I have to question the credibility of that method, because really anyone could just do their homework on the symptoms of Asperger's, go into a psychologist, act the part, fill out all the right questions, and get a diagnosis. So, I mean, I tried to be honest. I tried to be as honest as I could, and I tried not to embellish anything, which is, you know, kind of tempting when you're filling out that kind of questionnaire, uh, because, you know, it'll say, well, have you had this kind of feeling? And even if you don't, per se, you think, well, there was this one time so many years ago that I did, so you check yes. So it's not always entirely accurate, because not all the traits fully applied to me, at least I don't think. A lot of it did. And, you know, it was certainly enough for me to want to research the possibility of me having it. Um, but, you know, all in all, I do think that I have it, or at least a mild form of it, just because of the fact that there were things on the symptoms list that I hadn't told anyone, and it was really strange and shocking to see those descriptions, because I hadn't described, for instance, like doing this with the hands. I did that when I was a kid and didn't think anything of it really, and eventually I stopped doing it, but uh, apparently that was one of the symptoms, and I thought that was just some weird habit that just I had and nobody else had. So, I'll get to that in later videos. I'm gonna post some more just about my childhood symptoms and, my habits and tendencies growing up, as well as recent events that happened in the past couple months that eventually led me to seek out a diagnosis. Um, just for the simple fact that I feel like I need somebody to explain this to, even if it's the anonymous YouTube community, because I really don't have anybody right now, so I figure I should at least talk to someone, even if it's a computer screen. But another thing I thought of after I received the diagnosis, I was relieved at the insight that it provided, but I was a little afraid, because I was tempted to think, okay, well, what now? I was afraid that maybe I would start using this as a crutch, and that the Asperger's would define who I am, that I would stop being me, and that I would become just Asperger's patient number 3691. So, I know there's no cure for it. I know that, it's something that I'm going to have to deal with, but I value my identity very much, and I would never compromise that for anything. And even though it is insightful having this diagnosis, I don't want to be defined by it. So that also leads to the question of what now? So I have Asperger's. What do I do with it? Because obviously there's no pill. I can't just, get a prescription, take a pill, and have it be gone. That'd be great, I think. But it's just not that easy. The brain is just too complex for just a simple pill. And, of course you'll probably say, well, what about antidepressants? I could and probably will explore antidepressants again, although I have pretty much been on every antidepressant that they have a label for, and hasn't really worked or had a really adverse effect. I'll talk about that in a later video. But I think the most effective means of therapy at this point for me will be finding other Aspies, finding people that are at least remotely similar to myself. And that begins here with this video. So hopefully somebody will see this and comment, and hopefully this can be the beginning of, me being a part of a community of people with Asperger's, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'll post more videos in the future, but feel free to comment, tell me about when you were diagnosed, your reactions to it, how it affected you, and I look forward to posting more videos in the future.